And at this point, again, NDA, I can't talk about it. I can't tell anyone that I know anything or what this car is or that it exists or anything to do with it, as you would expect working with a manufacturer. Ever since AMG introduced the GT, it's always been a model that appealed to me, exactly the kind of driving I like, a sporty Grand Tourer. I'd been a big fan of the SLS, which had come before the first in-house AMG car, and the GT arrived with the regular GT and the GTS. I kind of regret that I hadn't gone for one at the time, but I heard about the upcoming model, we're talking a couple of years ago, that was being rumoured to be the GT Black Series, but became the AMG Gtr. Now, I did throw my name into the hat for that and was lucky to get one of the earlier AMG GTRs to be delivered, but everything about that car I thought was awesome. The way it was launched, they had this incredible Beast of the Green Hell campaign, the car roaring through the woodlands around the Nürburgring Nordschleife, where a lot of the development work was actually done in advance, obviously, of putting the car into production, and it just seemed, I think, really very, very cool, which is something quite hard to do these days with launch campaigns around new supercars. So I bought my GTR. Over the first year, I drove it nearly 20,000 miles, everything from top speed runs on the Autobahn to laps of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. I got it stuck in snow more than once in the Italian Dolomites, plenty of daily driving, lots and lots of different things, even upgrading it, giving it a lot more power with some new twin turbos from Rentec, a car that I enjoyed an awful lot. So when AMG then did the midlife update, the facelifted version introducing the GTR Pro, it was a given that I would make the change, a refresh, go back to a car again with delivery mileage, but also the elements that came with the update. So the new infotainment, the digital dashboard, the new headlights, tail lights, all things that I quite like, the improvement of technology, although introducing as well the OPF, which in Europe makes cars significantly quieter, much to the detriment of those of us who like and enjoy the noise of a combustion engine. Anyway, after placing the order for the Pro, they also introduced the Gtr Roadster. Now, the Pro came with a few disadvantages, we could say, for daily driving: a lower front splitter, a firmer ride without having adaptive suspension. It had more aero on the outside, so it looked cool with the aggression of the front end and the gurney flap on the rear spoiler and the extra aero pieces around. But I did figure that it would be a slightly less usable car, so maybe the Roadster would make more sense. But somehow man maths came through and I decided it would be a good idea to go for both of them. And I do very much enjoy the car. I've become a bit of an obsessive around the AMG GT models, and I use them an awful lot, and I figured I would be able to go ahead and continue doing so. Alas, 2020 had slightly different plans and I wasn't able to take my Pro to as many track days as I would have liked, and the Roadster was slightly delayed and I've not yet been able to really do anything, but hopefully the year ahead is going to have many more opportunities. Of course, the Black Series is also on the radar, and I've always been a big fan of the hardcore AMG models. The Black Series badging designation has always been used for their most purest, rare, exclusive, but very driving-focused versions. There have only been 5 of them to date, and one of those happens to be one of my dream cars that fortunately I'm now able to say as a car in my garage, the SLS AMG Black Series. I bought my SLS to sit alongside the Pro and now alongside the Roadster, having become, I think, a little bit of an AMG fanboy in some ways, but I'm not going to lie, I enjoy driving them. I think they're very, very good cars, and the SLS is a car I have used so much. But it was after I had taken delivery of my SLS, I actually resprayed it, got the car ready to go out, and have done many more things to it since. But we knew there were all of these rumours of the GT Black Series. We've seen spy shots of cars testing at the Nürburgring. We're hoping for big things, perhaps beating the GT2 RS around the Nürburgring in terms of lap times. Who knows what it's going to be able to do? But I got a call from Mercedes saying, would I like to be involved with the launch campaign around the new GT Black Series? And you can bet I immediately said, yes, I'm in, whatever, this is amazing. This is my, well, effectively dream car, the car that I'm looking forward to driving, to using, to hopefully flying around the world, to taking to so many different events and featuring in a lot of different videos on my channel. So any opportunity to even be part of that car, to be able to see it and shoot a video in the studio before launch is already special. To be involved in the Mercedes AMG campaign behind the car even more so. So about a month or two before it was even presented, completely under NDA, off the record, without being able to talk about where I was going or what I was doing, having to travel for multiple days to shoot the videos, while still putting out content on my platforms from other places without anybody knowing where I was. We were driving backwards and forwards, in fact, between the Mercedes test center and some other videos I was shooting in Munich in the days. It was all over the place at the time, but we shot the videos with them, and they created the whole leading campaign. Effectively, the way it was presented was that I would sneak up onto the roof of the AMG test center, climb down a ladder inside where the mechanics were working on one of the cars, pull the covers back, hop in, and take the car for a drive out on track myself, which I did actually get to do before I could even talk about the existence of the car. That was the quite fun thing behind the scenes. But basically, I would be the one who would take the car out and without saying anything, just being there, eventually be part of this campaign to present it. However, about a week before it went live, pictures surfaced. It had leaked. Now, it's very hard for manufacturers in the modern day, with so many camera phones everywhere and the speed with which a picture that's taken ends up going viral out on the internet. People are looking for these things all the time, sharing them with their friends, in group chats, whatever it might be. So, like any other car that's been hotly anticipated, the images of the GT Black Series absolutely flew out all over the world. And I think a lot of people thought that I might have been involved perhaps, but I got a lot of messages that started flying in saying, have you seen this? Have you seen this car? Are you getting one? And at this point, again, NDA, I can't talk about it. I can't tell anyone that I know anything or what this car is or that it exists or anything to do with it, as you would expect working with a manufacturer. But about a week later, we were due to have launched the full video. And of course, this changed things and the timetables and the campaign build up a little bit along the way. But ultimately, when the video went live and people saw that it had been me in the video, because I was even taking photos in the video of the car, that they had seen that I had been effectively leaking the car, everybody immediately thought that it was me that had leaked the new GT Black Series. Of course, it wasn't. I did not break any of the rules, and it was an interesting time trying to work out exactly how these things happen. Of course, it happens, I think, pretty much to everyone. It's quite rare these days for manufacturers to present cars without the world seeing them through a leak before, and a recent mention goes to McLaren with the Artura. They managed to keep that completely under wraps until they chose to present it to the world. The GT Black Series, though, these pictures had been circulating, and it was so funny because it looked, if you saw the video that we created, it looked like I had shared those pictures before, perhaps intentionally, perhaps not intentionally. Who even knows? It was the same silver car, high-tech silver, one of the launch colours for the car. And it was really funny how that connected and almost worked. It almost, to be honest, fit the storyline around the car. Me as a person who likes to film new releases, taking spy shots perhaps, and putting them out there with no further explanation or details. And then here it is, the GT Black Series, which I'm very, very excited about. I was lucky to secure an allocation. There won't be all that many of them, and it should be delivered in the not too distant future, ahead of definitely some big adventures in the future. On a personal level, to be given the opportunity to be part of such a campaign was a hugely significant, I think, moment for me, a very exciting thing, because this is a car that I've been excited about myself. I've been waiting for since before the GTR. We're talking 3 or 4 years. It's a car that I've been dreaming about having in the garage alongside my SLS Black Series and maybe more Black Series models in the future, we'll have to see. So to have the opportunity to be part of the launch campaign, the first time the world officially sees such a new and very significant car, was obviously a huge moment for me. Now, a lot of things and circumstances came into play. This was during the time that travel restrictions were pretty much closed around the world, and I was based in Germany. I was living at a place in Germany at the time, so it meant that it was possible for me to be there with Mercedes-AMG, and I'm sure that played a role in everything being set up. But knowing that the GT Black Series will always link back to that video of the car being found in the workshop and being taken out for a drive, and knowing now that I'll have one in my garage for the long term, it's a dream storyline for me. You know, I'm lucky to drive a lot of cars and to visit a lot of different awesome places to do with the car world, but this was a case of everything just coming together at exactly the right time to be part of a campaign that I hope will be remembered. I mean, I often talk for myself about my SLS, which links back to the original video when Mercedes showed the car doing a loop through the tunnel, which then had the doors opening and Michael Schumacher stepping out. Not that I think I'm anywhere near the same pedestal as Michael Schumacher, but to be given that opportunity is just something unbelievable.
Premier Financial Services has been a sponsor of VinWiki for the last 4 years, and we can't thank them enough for their support, and we love them for that, but also because their Simple Lease truly is a tremendous product in the world of exotic car financing. They allow you to minimize your payment, minimize your down payment, take all the tax advantages that are available for a lease, while still giving you the ability to move in and out of cars and accumulate equity. So they structure it in a very unique way that's hugely advantageous, gives you a lot more buying power, and their customer service is absolutely incredible. So we love Mitch and their team for their continued support of the channel. We thank them for that, but please visit them at the link in the description below and find out how easy it is to buy your dream car through Premier Financial Services.